Thank you, Adrian. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the best stadium in England. On the pitch, Tottenham Hotspur have the chance to go back to the top of the Premier League and put a 2-point cushion between them and the chasing pack. Fulham will be hoping to stop them and return to the top half. That is the carrot that is being dangled in front of those from South West London. Let's have a look at the two teams, starting with Tottenham. They are without Yves Bissouma because of suspension. He was sent off for 2 bookable offences, the second of which was rather ill-advised diving in the game with Luton. The latest of their wins. Guillermo Vicario is their goalkeeper. He has the best save ratio in the Premier League this season. The right back, Pedro Porro. Christian Romero, vice-captain of Spurs, is alongside Mickey van de Ven in the centre of defence, with Destiny Udogie, who's had a really good start to the season and made his debut for Italy in the international break. The two holders in midfield, Papsar and Emile Højbjerg, are going to be charged with protecting the defence, and then James Maddison is charged with providing the opportunities for Richarlison, for Son and for Kulusevski, who was actually involved in the Sweden game in Brussels in the international break that was abandoned after a terrorist attack. Fulham have made a couple of changes as well. Bernd Leno is their goalkeeper. The back four is Timothy Castagne, Calvin Bassey, Tim Ream and Anthony Robinson make up the back four. João Palhinha and Sasa Lukic are holding in midfield, with Andreas Pereira in the number 10 position behind Bobby De Cordova-Reid, Carlos Vinicius and Willian in attack. How excited should the Tottenham fans be about their record so far this season, Ali McCoist?
Very excited, Sam, and they've got every right to be. They're on a high at the moment. I said to Adrian, we met a few of them coming into the stadium and the tube coming over, the train coming over. They're thrilled with what they're seeing, they're excited. You know, they've got a bit of belief back. They think it's different, and it is different at this moment in time. There's still an awful long way to go, but you've got to say the start they've had, they just look as though they've got something about them. You know, they're winning games. Sheffield United, you know, that's a game perhaps that they wouldn't have won a year ago, and they just look at this moment in time a different proposition.
Ange Postecoglou attempted to negotiate what was a difficult issue by suggesting that the stadium should be a place where people can come together and show their support for the team and take away from whatever troubles they may have. Well, his team have certainly provided escapism for their supporters. 8 wins, 6 wins, 18 goals, 20 points, and tonight they can put a bit of daylight between themselves and the rest. Ali McCoist is alongside me. Spurs ooze excitement. How do Fulham take the wind out of their sails?
Well, it's interesting how they started the game. They had 4 men in the left-hand side. They rolled it back and played a diagonal. So if it's a statement of intent that they're going to have a right go, then that's certainly the way to go about it. But I expect they're going to have to defend well, Sam. They're going to have to defend very, very well against a Spurs team that we've already mentioned are full of confidence, and they're going to have to take any chances. But by the looks of things, the way they're setting up, Willian's high on that side, Vinicius high on the right as well, it looks as though they're going to Pereira through the middle. It looks as though they're going to play with a high line and perhaps press Spurs high up the park. Certainly looks to be the case.
Spurs in white shirts, white shorts and socks, and it's the sort of grey and pink mix with pink trim and black backs of Fulham attacking the goal away to our right hand side, the huge raking south stand, which is away to our right side. The ball pops off the midfielder Lukic and into the path of Richarlison, high on the left hand side for Spurs. They attack the goal away to our left. Across comes the defender and puts it out, Palhinha, and away for a throw in midway inside Fulham territory. Spurs' most recent win, the one that took them top of the table at Luton, saw them start like a train, but they missed key chances and had Bissouma sent off and made harder work of it than was necessary. Here's Son trying to make short shrift of Palhinha, but Palhinha watched him all the way and nudged him off the ball, won it back for Fulham and tidied up before releasing the ball forward. It's a little bit scrappy in midfield, won by Sarr, then Maddison's released. Son tried to go past the goalkeeper and Leno's made a terrific save, and then the referee Anthony Taylor has pulled it back for a foul after playing the initial advantage, Ali.
Which is strange in itself, however, because you let it go and it's a real opportunity. Goalie does exceptionally well, because Son was wanting to go around him here, Sam, wanting to take the ball around him, but Leno put his body weight down the the right hand side to cover that, and he's tried to lift it over, stuck his leg out. Good goalkeeping, excellent goalkeeping.
Is that good refereeing?
No, I think once he lets it go, he's got to let it go.
Spurs had the advantage.
Yes,
take it.
Yes, I mean, if he scores, it's brilliant refereeing, and he's continued to give him an opportunity. So I don't think he should be bringing that back myself.
Free kick then for Spurs, and it's going to be taken about 10 yards outside the penalty area. It's a shade left of centre, and standing over it, Pedro Porro, the right full-back, and James Maddison, who we know is a specialist from this sort of range. He loves a dead ball situation. He's placed it down, he's eyeing up the three-man wall. He approaches it right-footed and plays it left into Udogie, who I think wasn't expecting it. Caught him out slightly, his touch was heavy, it bounced off him really, and although it may have been well choreographed on the training ground, it didn't translate to the playing surface.
No, I think, to be fair to Udogie, he wanted it slightly forward to take it in his left foot rather than slightly behind him to take it on his right. Getting back to the point about the referee and Anthony Taylor, I'm just wondering, did he blow the whistle before the ball get played through to Son? If that's the case, yeah, that's a possibility.
It's still 0-0. He played 3.5 minutes. You're listening to TalkSport. Fulham's last game was their victory over Sheffield United, and as Adrian was saying, he was there for that match. It took them a little while to get the opener, and they benefited from a balmy Tom Kearney goal in that game as well. But it's another victory for Marco Silva. He's racked up coming into this fixture, and his team certainly had the better of the game between the two, although it was much altered teams in the Carabao Cup. Tottenham have the ball on the halfway line, and Christian Romero, the Argentine, stroking it forward, takes it wide towards the right. It's received back to him from Papsar, and then Willian on the press tries to unsettle Romero, and it goes all the way back to Guillermo Vicario, and Tottenham will build again.
It was very narrow, Fulham. I mean, they look quite solid defensively, but Richarlison out on the left hand side is well open for a quick switch of play.
Van der Ven carrying the ball up the field of play, almost ran out of room but kept hold of it well, and then drifts the ball back to one of their furthest, deepest players in James Maddison. He does have licence to play where he wants, I think. Udogie picks it up, coming infield off that left flank, then charges forward, releases Richarlison, who's in the left wing position. He takes on the defender and springs across into the centre. It's headed away by Tim Ream, and then back down towards Maddison, who hoists the ball forward. Away by Ream again, met by Sarr. There might have been a handball there, although there's an offside flag up over on the far side which preceded that, and it's going to be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. One thing that Tottenham do really well, I think, is they allow Maddison to have room and licence to go back and pick the ball up, but when they attack they do it at such rapid pace.
Excellent, Sam, I've got to say. He's got a lot more freedom than obviously the vast majority, if not all the Tottenham players. But if he is your chief playmaker, you want him on the ball. It makes sense as often as quickly as possible, and that's what Spurs try to do.
Here is Papsar, who's excelled in midfield for Tottenham so far this season. Højbjerg, who hasn't had too many minutes and struggled actually with the Denmark team. You're not going to believe this, they struggled to beat San Marino in the international break.
2-1. I saw the celebrations of San Marino goal. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
He's to make his debut at the age of 40 in that game for San Marino. Here is Udogie down the left hand side, trying to get towards the edge of the penalty area. Duckled over Reed, wrestles him to the floor, collected by Richarlison. Back infield it goes. It's with Højbjerg now trying to turn, as Fulham back behind the ball and in good shape, almost in a 4-4-2 formation as they sit behind the ball, but Udogie has drifted in again from that left side. Little swivel by Maddison, he's brought down by Polina, and it's another free kick just in front of the penalty area away to our left hand side for Spurs.
It's brilliant from Maddison, Sam. He just lets the ball come across him. You see it here, takes the touch away from Polina, he sticks a left leg out. You could argue he's very fortunate not to pick up a yellow card, because it was quite cynical.
Well, he does pick up quite a few yellow cards. He collects them like they're football stickers, and has to often serve as a suspension as a result of that. He got 14 yellow cards last season in the Premier League. That takes some doing, actually. Well, he used to.
I've got to say, I mean, in all seriousness, stating the obvious, that's too many.
Maddison with a free kick towards the far post, flicked by Romero into the centre and sent goalwards and over the bar by Van der Ven. He got his first goal against Luton, and maybe should have had his second there.
Centre-back's finished for me, Sam. He's got to keep it down. Ball comes across to him. Romero has a lovely header back. It's a change of option, the set play. Maddison plays it kind of back post, and he comes in, Van de Ven, and the way his body shape is always going high, always going over. He's got to try and go over it. It's not a side foot finish, it's an instep into the ground. We'll let him off. Centre half though.
Soft into Kulusevski, who spins the ball out to the right side, and then Porro goes down just on the edge of the penalty area. Anthony Taylor's giving himself some time, and he's given a free kick right on the perimeter of the box. Now, then it's about geography and whether or not it was inside the penalty area. Anthony Robinson, who was the party on the edge of the box who was guilty, was the one who made the foul. I think it was outside the box.
I agree. I think he catches his foot there. Definitely a free kick. Without doubt, Robinson catches him, but I actually think it is maybe about a foot outside the box.
Well, Anthony Taylor gave himself some thinking time there and communication time with his officials over on the far side, Gary Bezic, and decided eventually that he made the right decision, that it was a free kick, and I think the replay suggests that that's correct.
I think so. I think he's spot on. I think he's got it 100% correct. They'll probably have a look at it, which they're entitled to do, but no, I think he stands on his foot, and I think it's outside the box. Good call with the referee, good referee.
And good football by Spurs, and the pace of Porro actually unsettling the...
At least another one, Sam, we've spoken about it. I mean, Porro, you know, Van de Ven, Udogie, these guys are now, they're just, there's a freshness about them, there's a belief, there's an enthusiasm, they're doing everything at pace.
Well, here's the free kick then, and once again Maddison is standing over it. Kulusevski has gone across too. Not sure it's perfect for Maddison from that sort of angle to get a shot on goal, but you wouldn't rule anything out. There's a four-man wall, and now the draft excluder, and it's going to be left for Kulusevski to strike after a little touch from Maddison. Takes a deflection, runs into the air. Udogie trying to keep it alive. He does that, and the Fulham fans aren't happy. They thought he was offside. The linesman on the far side didn't flag, and Spurs retain possession just in front of the centre circle. 9 minutes gone, it's Tottenham Hotspur 0, Fulham 0. You're live on TalkSport tonight, game night on TalkSport with Sam Matterface, Ali McCoist. We're here right the way through to the conclusion of this game, bringing you yet another Tottenham Hotspur fixture. Here it's Kulusevski wandering on the far side, delivers the ball in towards the box. The referee eventually blows the whistle off. The flag went up over on the far side. I must admit, I was looking at the deeper central defender thinking, is he?
So was I. But clearly he's got a better view of this than we have. Must be the little reverse ball here. We're just about to see it. Yes. That is a great call. It's a great call.
It is this tight, but
that's
it's a good
you and
call.
I firmly put in their place again.
Not for the first time and not for the last, I wouldn't have thought. Spurs have had a good start to the season, but it is worth noting, I think, they've played most of their games in the Premier League away from home so far this season. So they haven't been able to show off Ange ball to their supporters as often as maybe they would like, but whenever it has been here, the atmosphere has been terrific this season. Calvin Bassey almost getting himself into a tight spot on the edge of his own box as Fulham look to play out. Leno makes sure that it's further clear. Held up by Vinicius. William with a really good switch out to the right side, and galloping forward at pace is Decordova-Reid on the edge of the area. First time ball in towards the near post. They couldn't quite reach it, and it goes behind and away and out for a corner kick. Sasa Lukic was the one bursting into the box, and Decordova-Reid might think he should have done better to find him.
Probably should have. I'm not sure that the run was really committed either. Good defending, you've got to say. Romero coming over, a really bright attack and a beautiful switch of play from Willian to release Cordova-Reid on the right hand side.
Corner on the near touchline to be taken by Andreas Pereira. There's 6 shirts to aim at in Fulham colours, and Pereira tries to pick one out, and it's Polini who does pick out. It's a brilliant save down to his left by the goalkeeper Vicario, springing out and jettisoning out a left arm which produced a stunning save. They pulled up the play for a foul, I think, on Højbjerg, but that was a great chance and a really powerful header.
I tell you what, it's a brilliant save. He's a little bit, I don't want to take anything away from the goalkeeper, he's a little bit fortunate. It's a good height for him. I mean, he's under pressure, but what a save it is. I'm probably doing him a disservice here. It's a brilliant save. I'm just saying, if it's a foot low on the deck, it's probably a goal, but what a save there from Vicario.
£20 million from Empoli. In the last 2 seasons he's made more saves than any other goalkeeper in Serie A, and he's got the best save ratio in this league this season.
Well, that's certainly another one for the scrapbook, because that was a brilliant save. Good delivery in, and a good header, a great header under pressure.
Do they keep scrapbooks now, or do you think they just...
I'm probably showing my age here, Sam. That was poor
stitch them together on an app. Keep it on their phones, peruse their saves at their leisure. 13 gone. You're listening to TalkSport.
I can hear all the younger listeners. Scrapbook, that man's lost it.
We all used to have them though, didn't we? Emphasis on the word used.
Yeah.
Anthony Taylor just pausing play because there was a free kick to Fulham inside their own half, and it was kicked long by Fulham but not taken from the right place. Calvin Bassey is getting the opportunity to take it again. It's just short of halfway. I'm looking at them, Sam. Look at them ready to pounce. Look at the three. Look at Madison, Son and Richarlison on the left hand side here. It's almost like they're on the starters block. As soon as the ball's kicked, they're off and sprinting forward and trying to win it, and they've won it back inside their own half. Richarlison is then hauled down by Timothy Castagna, who is seen as the heir apparent to Kenny Tete. He's out once again with injury. Free kick given. Maddison wants to get it moving and does, and plays it square. Just short of the centre circle is Romero inside his own half. He's got support from Højbjerg, and then left of him is Mickey van de Ven, who made his debut for the Dutch in the international break. Across it goes to Romero, back out to Pap Sarr, and Tottenham keeping possession here. 13 and a half gone on TalkSport. Ali will be back on breakfast with Andy Townsend, and don't worry, I'm going to make sure they get back to the hotel at a reasonable time. We're all travelling together back from the stadium tonight.
That's for sure.
I'll put you to bed and tuck you up.
That'll do for me. It's the other fella I'm more concerned about.
Often one to lead us astray. Here is Romero halfway. Crowd trying to get the noise up to encourage Tottenham just to produce a little bit more zip, but they're happy to keep hold of the ball here without Fulham putting too much pressure on them, just holding off that press down. Fulham here on the left is Maddison, who drags this pass forward into the feet of Bassey instead of Son, and it's half cleared and then up to the halfway line, and Tottenham have got it back again. Romero steps forward again. They're allowing them to have it up to the halfway line, Fulham. And then they've got the front two, Pereira and Vinicius, and then a bank of four followed by the back four. Tottenham trying to find a way through at this moment, not able to do so. There's a bit of space for Richarlison on this near side, but the play taking place on the right, and then Højbjerg plays it to Pap Sarr, and now they look to shift it. Van de Ven looks up, plays it left, and now Richarlison has got it, and his ball forward is poor, hits the defender. Castagna goes out for a throw-in.
I'm looking at Udogie's starting position as well. When Tottenham have got it in their kind of back three, he's actually playing in a kind of left hand side of a number 10 position. He's so far up the pitch, Sam, it's incredible.
That has been his role for most of the season. He's almost played in that sort of inside left corridor in opposition territory, because they have so much of the ball. He's almost at times part of the front three. Pap Sarr, right side, little flick around the corner from Porro, doesn't quite come off. Polinia will win it here and just shuttle it forward into Pereira, whose ball is behind Robinson. Didn't quite get it right, it goes out of play. It's away for a Tottenham throw, and at this moment in time Fulham can't get a kick. Romero, 15 and a half gone, 0-0 on TalkSport. Managers have been known to verbalise dissatisfaction when their fixtures have been moved, but Ange Postecoglou actually said his preparations may have been helped by the shift to Monday night this week, with those coming back from international duty. Romero, one of those that was in South America, lifts the ball forward but gives it straight to Castagna.
That ball's on the time, on all the time, Sam. Castagna did well there, but because of Udogie's position and sometimes Madda's position in that left-hand side, it's forcing Castagna to go in more central, and it's allowing the space for a switch of play. Interesting though, as soon as that ball was flicked off Castagna, Bassey picked it up on the edge of his own penalty area, and immediately he was being pressed, but being pressed by the left full-back, Udogie. They've won a free kick over on the far side, Fulham, after Anthony Robinson was spelled, and it's going to be a free kick just short of halfway, and Polinia will take it. Tim Ream has it now. Ball played square. Iwobi, who was left out of the team, is sitting on the bench tonight, all wrapped up, very warm in a big puffer jacket and his hood up at this moment in time. Iwobi's picked it up far side, and he's starting to come forward. Of course, he could have joined Spurs. Reports say he even did a medical here before being nabbed by Chelsea.
and that's why he's getting booed. I think his association with Chelsea and Arsenal probably doesn't help. He's been booted to the floor by Kulusevski over on the far side. It's going to be a free kick,
which I think it was. I know it didn't get in too well with the home crowd, but I definitely think it was.
Tottenham going to try and defend with a really
high line, isn't it? Dear me.
It's about 8-9 yards outside of the penalty area. It's played square initially by Andreas Pereira. Lukic's ball is charged down by Maddison, and there's a chance to counter-attack if Spurs can get this ball forward. They can't, and now Robinson has headed it into the right wing position for Castagna to chase, and he's out-muscled a doggy. He's got inside the right corridor, sends the cross into the near post, and Vinicius heads it well wide of the goal. And there was an opportunity there, and maybe he might have been better served sending it to the back edge of the penalty area where their other runners were available.
Yeah, he did exceptionally well initially, I've got to say. The out-muscled the doggy, gets himself his half yard to put the cross in. He chose to go near post. Probably the wrong decision, but good play initially, as I said. There's Maddison getting that wee hole again,
trying to poke it down the left side, and Charlison's on the sprint. It's low ball, takes a deflection, it's feathered away by Bassi, chested down by Decordova-Reid, and Lukic trying to escape. He's beaten to it by Son. He's had a bit of a tough start, Lukic. Ball played square for Kulusevski. The interception comes from Robinson, and that sends Willian away. He nudges it into the path of Vinicius, but Nicky
poor run. Sam, it's a poor run from Vinicius. He's got to stay and clear that area. I mean, Robinson's clearly making the overlap there into a good space, and 9 times out of 10 the pass will come to him from Willian, but I don't know for the life of me where Vinicius is going there. He's got to peel to the back post and take the defender the opposite way.
He's got literally no chance of keeping up with Mickey van de Ven either, because he's got Bugatti speed, hasn't he?
Lightning.
Not spaghetti, Bugatti. I've got my tongue around spaghetti,
I believe there's a big difference.
I don't know, when it's in front of me it goes down quite fast. 20 minutes gone. Bassi forward, switch towards the far side. Willian coming forward for Fulham, tries to get into the penalty area. He skips past Porro on the edge of the box, tries to get onto his right foot, plays it behind Lukic, kept alive by Castagna. Sort of ran into no man's land there, Willian, really. Clipped the ball at Tim Ream out to the far side, and Robinson, and they're still on the attack here. Robinson's got it back after a 1-2. It's ball into the centre, it's blocked by Romero. It's out for a corner to Fulham, 20 gone, 0-0.
Bright enough, really bright enough. They've not had a lot of possession, opening 20 minutes, Fulham, but they can certainly look dangerous on the counter. Willian's brilliant at that, you know, Sammy. You know he's going to do it. He feints to go left. He's just, the speed of his feet are so quick coming back onto the right hand side that he gets away with it 9 times out of 10.
Corner to be taken by Pereira, who delivers the ball right under the goalkeeper, who just puts his arms up in the air, grabs it and bowls it out, and very quickly Tottenham are on the attack from the Fulham corner. Running down the left is Kulusevski, the Swede. He actually got only halfway inside the Fulham half before Fulham got so many numbers back, and a frustration from the Tottenham fans that they haven't moved the ball quick enough to actually take advantage of that.
I was going to ask you, Sam, I thought the Charleston should have broke his neck on the right hand side, because Son had brought all the play and the defenders to the left. I thought he could have broke his neck to get forward on the right hand side for a switch of play.
Do feel like he's lacking in a little bit of confidence, and maybe that's clouding his judgment at times. The doggy thinks he should have been given a free kick. The referee hasn't called time. Then Romero, who is never short of a confrontation if it comes available, gets involved with Vinicius, and the referee has to pull them apart. The doggy is just being checked on. I don't think he's been given a free kick. I think it'll be a uncontested drop ball here.
He certainly shows his studs in the tackle. Polina, I don't think he catches him right on, although the doggy's reaction might tell me differently. But he does. I thought he's certainly showing the studs there a little bit.
Did look a little bit aggressive, let's put it that way. We've played nearly a quarter of the game so far, still 0-0. The best save of the game has been made by Guillermo Vicario. Leno's made 1-2 from Son. It's been one big chance apiece so far. and it remains goalless. The ball is on the right side with Carlos Vinicius, who was once of Spurs, on loan from Benfica. Has got 5 goals in his last 10 appearances. 5 goals and 3 assists so far this season. He had a strong end to last campaign. Those goals really mostly coming in the last campaign. And he's a player who has struggled in front of goal, but has done a little bit better than Raul Jimenez so far this season. And that has been a massive problem for Fulham in terms of putting ball in the back of the net. They failed to secure a big budget replacement for Mitrovic. Jimenez hasn't scored a top-flight goal since March 2022. Here is Son tucking the ball back to
pass from Maddison. Fires it right into Son.
It's a great pass by Maddison. They're still building on the right side. Back to the right it goes to Porro, and now Son takes it over, gets to the byline, tries to reverse the ball into the path of Kulusevski. Away by Robinson, picked up on the edge of the area by Maddison, who weaves his way past 2 challenges, tries to take on a third, keeps it alive despite attention from Robinson. Wide right it goes, low ball into the near post, away by Tim Ream, and then headed away and down by Højbjerg as Tottenham try and keep the pressure on. 23 gone, 0-0 the score. Højbjerg forward, Maddison again conducting things, dictating from the middle. Son tries to feed Richarlison, Bassi is there, attempts to clear, Vinicius tries to hold on to it, manages to bring the ball away, pokes it right side. De Cordova-Reid is challenged by a doggy, it goes out on this near side. It's a Tottenham Hotspur pro.
One thing I want to say about the Maddison's passing there, Sam, he turns and he fires it in with a lot of pace into Son. There are a couple of things that does. It makes Son concentrate in the touch, which has to be good when he's receiving the ball, but it also lifts the entire tempo of the move, and the pass itself creates that movement, and the speed in terms of the play just rises instantaneously.
I see a doggy again trying to get down that left hand side and into an advanced position. Didn't come off for him this time, but he is unsettling that Fulham backline because of his position. Ball has been worked forward by Fulham, who are now on the attack with Willian. He moves forward, then just slows up the attack as Tottenham are allowed to get back into shape on this right-hand side. The ball could have come to De Cordova-Reid. Saka Lukic decided to shoot instead, and I think it's still rolling towards the goal line.
Yeah, again, I'm looking at the movement from Carlos Vinicius there. I'm looking at him, he looks to get dragged to the ball all the time. I think sometimes as a centre forward you've actually got to go away from the ball and position yourself the opposite side of a centre back where he can't see, you're out his eye line, and in between the other full back. It looks as though he just gets dragged to the ball quite a lot.
How does he avoid doing that? What should Marco Silva do to correct it?
Well, when the ball's, for example, on the left hand side of the pitch, a centre forward, I think sometimes you've got to drift to the opposite, to the right hand side of the pitch, and position yourself in between the full back and the centre back, so that the other centre back, you're out his eye line, and then you can go short or you can spin in behind. I just think he's got it in his game, he can do it, but I just think at this moment in time he's just getting a wee bit dragged to the ball a little bit.
You're listening to Tottenham Hotspur 0, Fulham 0 on TalkSport with Now, and don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Tottenham versus Fulham live right now for $11.99. No contract, search Now Sports. Tomorrow morning when you wake, oh dear, that's a mistake by Vicario. He's given it straight to Willian as he attempts to play out from the back. It's fallen to Pereira inside the box now, left side. They're trying to scramble back into position, Tottenham, as Fulham look to build the attack. Polinius swings it from left side to right. Castagna under pressure. And one thing Tottenham have done is they've protected their goalkeeper really well there after making a mistake. They got back and smothered the attempted Fulham attack.
Yeah, and Porro and Højbjerg were excellent in doing that. Did the goalkeeper a big favour there.
Maddison on halfway, still waiting for our first goal in this game. Tottenham have had a lot of the ball so far in it, dominated possession, they've looked the most likely, but Fulham have had a big chance as well. Here's Son in the number 10 position, moving it out towards the left. He finds Richarlison now, who runs up against the defender and then pokes it infield. Maddison just wide, Højbjerg with a strike straight down the throat of the goalkeeper.
I'm going to tell you, Sam, it's great play all round, but again it's Maddison. what he does, he takes the ball into feet, and it's only a simple pass of maybe 2 feet, maybe a yard at them, but the timing of it for him to hit directly, Højbjerg to hit, he just sucks in the opposition defender and creates a little bit of space that he knows Højbjerg can hit it first time.
It was that wonderful little pause, that moment, just waiting, and then as Pereira went across to him, he just, with beautiful weight of pass, laid it into Pierre Højbjerg, and he smacked it goalwards, and he could hit it first time as a result of that. It was straight at Firmino, and he was able to make the save. Vinicius and Romero are starting to get very well acquainted. We mentioned earlier on that João Palhinha liked a card. Well, Christian Romero queues up outside Clinton's before it opens.
Yeah, you can just feel it between those two, can't you? Yeah. There's trouble brewing.
Richarlison felt he was fouled. The referee said no. Castagna not penalised, and play continues. They're on the halfway line, and Fulham have possession. 28 gone. It's into De Cordova-Reid, who looks to spin behind Udogie, headed away by Palhinha, and then back towards the right. De Cordova-Reid trying to get the better of Richarlison, and they're wrestling for the ball, and De Cordova-Reid puts it out and away for a throw-in. It's interesting, isn't it, with Richarlison, because you know that there is talent in his boots, but he hasn't been able to replicate it for some while now. I mean, since the World Cup, really. How do you unlock that?
I agree with all your sentiments there. I just think he can be a very frustrating player. I really do. As you say, there's nobody doubting there's a player in there, extreme talent. I just don't think we see it enough.
Marco Silva was the man who signed him for Watford to bring him to English football. Says he's got a lot of time for him as Robinson skates past Kulusevski and then looks to outpace Porro, lays the ball back into the penalty area as he tried to cut it back from the byline. Easily cut out by Spurs, and they look to move forward at pace. Swung by Maddison out towards the right. Kulusevski galloping, takes it in his stride, moves towards the angle of the penalty area, cuts in on his left foot, needs a decoy. Richarlison is there and sends the shot wide of the post. What an effort, what a chance, what a well-crafted move. It just didn't have to finish, and Richarlison looks to the heavens once again.
But I said to Ed before the game, Sam, where did that chance come from? It actually came from a Fulham attack. Gave the ball away. Spurs broke magnificently well. The ball into Maddison, who released Kulusevski, was absolutely terrific. The whole play overall was general. Kulusevski caught in from his right foot. He was looking for Maddison, didn't, who made a great run, waited on Richarlison. Probably that move deserved the goal. It really was. That was a big chance.
Yeah, such was the frustration of Ange Postecoglou that he stood there with his hands in his rain mat and spread it out wide. Here is Maddison forward towards Son, takes it well, then shoots, takes a little deflection off Tim Ream, but I think it was a rushed effort really. There was a little bit more room to manoeuvre there. Again, they moved the ball such pace through the middle of the park, through the thirds and up into Son, usually via Maddison. Udogie was involved in that as well. But when he got the ball on the edge of the penalty area there, I think he had a little bit more time.
Well, Sam, again, I'm saying like the James Maddison fan club here, I make no apology for it. He looked as though he was going to play it to Kulusevski, and just at the last minute puts his foot round it and fires it again into Son's feet. And Son again, you're right, probably a little bit more time, he should have got a better shot away.
Papsar down the right tries to take on Palhinha, who edges him out. The ball goes out of play and away for a goal kick away to our left hand side. That James Maddison fan club, I think, has picked up a few extra members over the last few weeks and months.
Yeah, he's been terrific, he really has. Even tonight, I'm enjoying his performance the first half hour or so. You can just see he takes it differently as well. A couple of things on the half turn, and he's always looking forward, Sam. The first thing he does, he looks forward. I remember talking to Graham Souness. Graham, he loves a midfield player who the first thing he does looks forward.
Son, brilliant little drag back and move to get the ball into space, into Maddison. There's so many good technicians on this Tottenham team. He runs at Calvin Bassey, slips it left for Richarlison. First time ball is stopped by Castagna, breaks wide for Udogie, and still Tottenham are putting the pressure on, but goalless after 32 minutes at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Here is Richarlison, lovely little intelligent ball. The doggy tries to pull it back. Does it hit the arms of Bassi, who went sliding to the floor? Well, the referee is looking at that with any menace, and it's cleared away by Fulham. But the move was great, and this time it was Richarlison's ball round the corner for a doggy, who made a brilliant inside run that set up the chance. Well, they've given it away again, Fulham, and now Kulusevski has it, but Paulinho is there to put out the fire. It's a brilliant tackle, and it sets Willian away, and he's got Pereira floating to his left. He feeds him now, Pereira, but it's just a little bit too close to delivery to Romero, who brings it away.
Listen, it's a poor ball from Willian. Flip side of the coin, it's good defending from Romero, but Willian should not allowed Romero the opportunity to intercept that pass. That was a big chance, a good break for Fulham, real opportunity to at least get a shot in target, and they should have, but didn't.
33 gone. Højbjerg sends it wide. Now Kulusevski takes on and moves towards the edge of the area, takes on Robinson, who drives him backwards rather than forwards. Sarr in the middle of the park, being watched by De Cordova-Reid. Willian trying to engage with Pedro Porro. Causes a real problem, I think, for Fulham when those two fullbacks come in inverted into the middle of the Fulham half of the field. Udogie is one of those who's picked it up right on the edge of the area, inside left, out to Richarlison. He pokes it forward. Son, lots happening on the edge of the box here. Maddison weaving his way in, getting a shot away, low and hard, but saved easily by the goalkeeper.
Double step over, excellent. Step over to the right, step over to the left, defender buys the one to the left, gets himself his wee half yard again. Excellent, comfortable save right enough for Leno.
Well, the ball did strike the arm of Calvin Bassey, but I think even in the current climate, that would go down as a natural position for the arm.
Yeah. By the look in Adrian's face there, I think we'll be talking about that one at half time. Sam, just to warn you.
He doesn't think it was natural. You are allowed, if you're sliding in, to put your arm on the floor, actually. That's in the guidance. Although his arm actually was by his side as he went to drive it. Why are you looking at me like that for? You're allowed to put it down just to break your fall. That's in the guidance. Although saying that, I think there was a decision that was given against Lewis Dunk earlier in the season in the game against Luton, which sort of was given despite the fact that his arm was behind him when he was sliding in. I think they apologised for that, the PGMOL. Here is Kulusevski looking to feed Son, cut out by Ream on the edge of the penalty area. 10 minutes to go before half time. Collected by Sarr, and there's a foul given, and it's going to be Højbjerg on Willian, which generates the first yellow card of the game. 35 in, and it's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg who picks up the first booking of the night.
Don't know why he goes in. He goes to ground. He doesn't make any contact, to be quite frank with you, Sam, but as soon as he goes to ground, he gives the referee the option to yellow card him, which he duly obliged.
Was he not trying to pull out of that challenge?
I think he was, yeah, but as soon as you go to ground, he slid in.
Richarlison into Son, edge of the area, skips past the challenge, right footed into the far corner, and Tottenham Hotspur lead. Free of the shadow of Tottenham's greatest goal scorer, Son Heung-min is revelling in the spotlight. It's a terrific finish, of which Harry Kane will be proud. It's goal number 50 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for Son Heung-min, and Spurs finally have their lead against Fulham. It's 1-0.
What a finish, it really is. I don't know what Fulham are doing defensively there. Bassey gets caught on the right hand side there, plays the ball in, it's a poor ball in. They're all out of position, they really are. Tim Ream's over the other side, playing him on side, he tries to step out, he gets back across, but it's too late. It's absolutely too late. It's a poor ball in, overhit, and Son is effectively left in the middle of the goal himself. Ream comes across, tries to block him, he doesn't, cuts back onto his right foot, and the execution is magnificent, absolutely magnificent. He curls it into Leno's top left hand corner. Beautiful finish, excellent finish from Spurs' point of view. Bit of a disaster for Fulham, I've got to say.
50th goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on his 99th appearance. That's some record.
No, it's excellent. He's a top player, Sam. He really is a top player. So in that respect, it's absolutely no surprise.
It's a brilliant finish for Son. And the assist goes to Richarlison, who fed him. Here is Kulusevski, but maybe it should go to Calvin Bassey, because it was his ball which caused the problems initially.
He's tried to play into the middle of the park and he's overhit it. But the problem is, because the centre-backs are split to take the ball off the goalkeeper, once they lose it, it comes back into Son and reams out in the left-hand side, and it's too difficult. He does eventually get across, but he's easily sidestepped with Son. That's the problem, the gap between the two centre-backs. I know they've split to take the ball off the goalkeeper, but it ends up posing the problem.
Richarlison now has it after Bassey, I think, maybe handballed it on the edge of the penalty area. Son didn't see Willian coming behind Porro when he played him the ball, but Tottenham win the ball back brilliantly, and Richarlison diving in to win it back and turn it over high up. Sarr comes forward, edge of the area. They've got the bit between their teeth now, Tottenham. 37 gone, 1-0. Ball into the box towards Son, flicked behind by Bassey, and out for a corner.
Well, we were critical of him with the pass into the middle of the park. Quite the opposite there, because if he doesn't get a touch on that, it's a goal. Brilliant defending from Bassey. Excellent ball, in-swinging ball from Kulusevski. Son's just waiting on it. Bassey gets the slightest of touches, puts it out for a corner, but he had to do that, had to be there.
Well, Bassey didn't like his last trip to North London. He was sent off for 2 yellow cards at Arsenal. Not necessarily sure he's enjoying his latest trip here either. Corner kick to be taken by Maddison away to our left-hand side. 38-9 on the clock. You're listening to TalkSport. We're live at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Maddison in towards the near post, flicked away by Palhinha. It's won by Kulusevski, who tries to turn it back round the corner. He's got Pereira for company, flips it onto his left foot, and then a little back heel into Romero, who's in the right wing position now, the central defender. His cross is a deep one towards the edge of the box, but it was headed away by De Cordova-Reid. And now Udogie will bring it forward. It remains 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur, and I think maybe there was a few questions about how the Spurs midfield was going to function without Bissouma. So far so good, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Højbjerg and Sarr have been fine in there, no problems at all.
Rumble of noise you can hear is from the Tottenham fans.
I think Spurs have been worthy of the lead, Sam, although you have to say Fulham haven't been out without their chances.
Here's Maddison, edge of the area, slips the ball down the left, a little back heel into Udogie's path by Son. It comes towards Kulusevski, it's blocked by Pedro Porro, and it might have taken a flick off Anthony Robinson on the way through. But another chance carved by Tottenham Hotspur's quick slick play, which opened up what is now a creaking Fulham defence.
Oh, that's a big chance. You've got to be scoring that. It's a lovely ball, I've got to say. Beautiful ball from Maddison into Son, back flick into Udogie. They should be scoring it. That's a good block. Big chance. Kulusevski will take the corner now.
Over on the far side. I actually think it came off Palhinha, who got in front of Pedro Porro. The ball goes in towards the near post. It's headed away, free header by Vinicius. It comes back away by Pedro Porro. It took a flick on the way through. It's going to be another corner. It was well wide of goal. But it's a good spell for Tottenham, and if they can make this pay before half-time, they may well take the game away from Fulham before we even get to the break.
Yeah, I think we've reached the stage. Fulham are looking for half-time. Marc De Silva just want to get in there, 1-0 down, I would think. Just regroup, have a chat with his players.
Højbjerg, left side of the area, produces a cross from the short corner. Son couldn't bring it down, but nudges it to Kulusevski. Tottenham not letting Fulham escape. Williams got it about 5 yards in front of his own box, and he tries to lead the charge away and get Fulham out. Pereira has it far side, but Spurs flex back into defensive positions very well and so very quickly. And they're such a well-organised team, and they are going to trouble everyone, I think, this season. When you look at Fulham, they've had a very good season last year, but their only wins so far have come against teams who began this weekend in the bottom 5 of the league. Here's Willian far side, moving up towards the edge, produces a cross deep towards De Cordova-Reid, who heads it against Udogie, and it goes out of play and away for a corner kick.
And the key there was actually Vinicius going to the back stick and then moving forward, because he posed Udogie the problem. He had to go inside with him. I've got to say, it's a chance Cordova-Reid should probably be finding Vinicius with that header there.
He didn't seem to have too much conviction in the header when it came over the top of the defender.
He kind of let it come off him rather than power it to him. I take your point.
Here's the corner, down in front of that raking south stand that goes up into the clouds behind the goal in this marvellously appointed stadium. It's Pereira's delivery, arcing towards the penalty spot, looking for Paulinho. Took a little flick, but Pereira's in an offside position when he received it. Now, if he had let that go, would it have gone out for a corner? I'm not sure. But by getting involved again, he ended up alerting the referee's attention, and as a result, it's a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur.
Good thinking, that. I never thought about that myself. Yeah. He lets it go, they still get possession, keep possession of the football.
Tottenham lead Fulham by a goal to nil. For the latest odds, you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get Tottenham 7-1 on to win the game. Fulham 22-1. The draw 13-2. It's all thanks to Ladbrokes, 18+BeGambleAware.org. The traders at Ladbrokes don't have too much faith in the Fulham comeback here. I wonder if that's because they have struggled so much in terms of scoring this season. Richarlison into the centre, and he drifts the ball right towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Pedro Porro came diving in, and it eluded him by about an inch.
Yeah, again, really enterprising play. I'm enjoying it. Maddison goes back and take the ball in that left back position, and as soon as he does, the doggy goes right forward into high inside left position. They work it really well, and he ends up firing it into him. Another chance for Tottenham.
Richarlison's hurt himself trying to block a clearance from Castagna. And when I say that Fulham haven't scored enough goals this season, only 4 teams before this weekend had scored fewer goals than the Cottagers. How are they going to get back into this game, Ali?
Well, I think they're going to have to get to half time and regroup. That's the first thing they've got to do. Still, as long as it stays 1-0, clearly still in the game, Sam. And then you can change things. Probably, possibly go more offensive as the game goes on. But at this moment in time, they're just going to have to weather this storm, because that's what it is at this particular moment. Tottenham have been excellent the last 10-15 minutes. And I'll say it again, you'd think Fulham would just be looking for the half-time whistle at this moment in time.
Boys on the breakfast show already mocking up a laminated membership card to the James Maddison fan club for Ali McCoy for tomorrow morning. He's on with Andy Townsend from 6 a.m. Here's Willian picking the ball up edge of the Tottenham penalty area and losing control of it. And the boos every time he picks up the ball. I'm not saying they're affecting him, but certainly the Boo boys are enjoying the fact that he hasn't had the best of 44 minutes up until now. Tottenham play their way out of trouble really well. Sarr, Porro, Højbjerg, the ball infield to a doggy who's coming from left back to that central midfield position. He's been dispossessed by Cordova-Reid, who's now run up to the edge of the box. It's broken for Sasa Lukic. Then it's on towards Pereira. He kicks it again to Romero. It's loose. The ball runs through towards Sarr, who is challenged by Paulinho, but it's Romero who emerges with it, and he moves at pace into the opposite half. He just slows things up as he gets to the edge of the penalty area. He turns and plays it into the channel. Kulusevski inside the box, takes a step. They want too many passes, comes back to Maddison. He tricks his way through, and no one pulls the trigger as a result.
Oh dear me. I mean, that particular attack, there's at least 4 of them should have scored.
2 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45. Tottenham at this moment in time running riot.
Oh, that was unbelievable, Sam. How they never get an attempt at goal defies logic. The brilliant reverse ball into Kulusevski. You think he's got to score, then you think Maddison's got to score. Dear me, what a chance.
It was such a good ball from Romero into the path of Kulusevski.
Lovely pass.
Does give you that as well. He likes to rampage forward, does the centre-back from Argentina. And Tottenham now just resting with the ball on halfway, having possession. Fulham at this moment in time getting a little frustrated. Bobby Cordova-Reid just throwing his arms up into the air. He hasn't been too impressed by what his teammates have been doing. They've sort of not given up the press, but they've sort of stopped being able to apply it with any real effectiveness as a doggy who's drifted in again on that left-hand side. Picks up the ball, plays it towards the edge of the penalty area. Richarlison, Højbjerg on to Son. The challenge with Bassi inside the penalty area. And the referee's made a decision, and I don't think it's the one that Tottenham want. They want a penalty. And
well, I didn't think it was for Højbjerg, but I'm looking at Son's reaction. He immediately thought it was a penalty, Sam. Immediately.
Well, Richarlison plays the ball forward. Højbjerg hips it on towards Son. It then comes back to Højbjerg, and he's challenged by Bassi, whose foot is high and doesn't make much contact with the ball. It's whether or not he'd already gone down and was, I think, maybe halfway on the floor before Bassi had completely committed to the challenge. No penalty is the decision, and we're underway again, so there will be no reset. I think those in this stadium know more than most that once the game restarts, you can't go back to a previous decision. Willian over on the far side. Pereira back to Willian again. They're midway inside Spurs territory. Hugging the left touchline is the USA international Robinson. His floating ball headed away by Van de Ven, and then Richarlison scoops it over the head of Castagna. Went to chase after his own forward pass, but Bassi got there first. Willian wandering centrally plays it out to Castagna. Offside flag is up against De Cordova-Reid, but also another bit of foul there on Castagna in the build-up to it.
It's a great line though. Tottenham were kept defensively, you know, just allowing De Cordova-Reid to get into that offside position. It's a good line. I think you're probably right with your assessment of the free kick.
Doggy on Castagna has been penalised first, and Pereira's still moaning at Anthony Taylor. And De Cordova-Reid would have been in an offside position had that not been given as a foul. Oh, they've gone back and given the offside. They haven't given De Cordova-Reid the foul.
Well, that's bizarre, because clearly the offence, well, if it is an offence, takes place before the offside.
Anyway, half-time, and that is the end of the first half, which Tottenham will be pretty satisfied with. They've made their best start to a season since winning the double 63 years ago, and they will be returning to the top of the Premier League should they continue to win this game. Heung-min Son has his 50th goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and what a goal it was to make it Tottenham 1, Fulham 0 at half-time. Two changes for Fulham at half-time. Alex Iwobi is on for Andreas Pereira, and Raul Jimenez is on for Carlos Vinicius at the start of a second half from which Fulham have to come back from a goal deficit. Underway with Tottenham in white shirts, white shorts and socks, attacking the goal away to our right, and Fulham in that greyish kit with a little pink hue, pink trim and black shorts, attacking the goal away to our left-hand side. And Ali McCoy, those changes, what impact will they have?
Well, they need to find a goal from somewhere, don't they? Iwobi's playing, looks up, he's on Højbjerg at the moment, so his job will be to get forward when they do get the ball. We're just going to have to find a goal from somewhere.
Doggy, who's got down the left-hand side again, pulled the ball towards the edge of the D. It comes cannoning back off of William after it was played forward by Pedro Porro. There was half fake claims for a handball. The ball broke to the right, and again the ball's kicked by Castagna against Richarlison, who's been flying into blocks and challenges in an attempt to show willing, really. He can't winning the ball back.
Absolutely. Do you know something? And you can't blame him for that at all, Sam. See if you're having a kind of rough time or a tough time, the fans will stay with you 100% if they see that you are totally committed and giving everything. And clearly that's the impression that Richarlison is giving at this moment in time.
The Spurs have got a cracking record against Fulham. The Cottagers have not beat them in the league for 8 years. No doubt that Fulham were the better side when the two met in the Carabao Cup, albeit with much altered teams. The Spurs, who have changed their style, improved with more shots, more touches in the opponent's box, more of the ball, more pressing, more of everything that fans want to see this season, without a huge overhaul, but with a change in the dugout that has allowed many of their flair players to express themselves, and some of those who are on the fringes of the first team to be reintegrated. Here is James Maddison, who certainly has been given responsibility, and the other thing that has impressed me about him is the way in which he's inherited that Harry Kane number 10 jersey, and it's bothered him very little. So for others that would be like a heavy weight on their shoulders, wouldn't it? He's not really that personality. Here is Højbjerg poking it out towards the far side, taken by Richarlison, doesn't get his pass right, blocked by Castagna. A Doggy then plays it against the same man, the Belgian doing well to stop a Spurs attack.
Yeah, it looks very much like Polina, and look at you, are sitting there, there's a 2 in front of the back 4. Iwobi's in that kind of number 10 position with De Cordova-Reid and Willian the left hand side, Jimenez through the middle, Sam.
Yeah, pretty similar to the way they lined up in the first half, just with different personnel. And Raul Jimenez looking for his first top flight goal since March 2022. certainly goes through a lot of work, that's for sure, and maybe Fulham will be hoping that he can be a platform from which to build. Iwobi did quite well last season, I think, for Everton. He's still looking for his first ever Fulham goal. Van de Ven back to Romero. The press is on this time from Fulham, and they've won it. Polina into Willian, who's spotted the run of De Cordova-Reid. Polina came off badly in the challenge that initially won the ball back for Fulham. De Cordova-Reid's gone too wide, and then has had to come back to the midpoint of the Tottenham half, and then Iwobi tracks and runs towards the edge of the centre circle, where Tim Ream picks it up, plays it left into the path of William. They build again. Tottenham Hotspur lead by a goal to nil. The noise, cacophonous inside this huge stadium that seats so many, 62,850. And that was a good venue for the NFL the other week. Live on TalkSport 2. Foul by Kulusevski on Robinson, it was. Going to be a free kick midway inside Spurs territory. Iwobi back to the centre circle, and Calvin Bassey, who nudges it into the path of João Polina. The ponytailed Tim Ream plays it wide, and then on to Willian back to Ream once again. Ream into midfield, where Polina looks to float the ball in behind the doggy and looks for De Cordova-Reid, whose touch wasn't good enough to get hold of it. It went under his foot, and the doggy is allowed to recover in the left full-back position.
Also in that, Sam, his touch was really poor. It was a brilliant switch of play, I felt, from Polina. Deserved a better touch from De Cordova-Reid. It really should, and he should have been in and goal, getting some attempt at a finish here. That was a poor touch.
Such a brilliant precision pass from Polina. It needed to be met with the requisite quality. He couldn't do so. Lukic has it on the far side, accused of handball. Referee's allowed play on, and Iwobi has taken it on. Moves across the halfway line, literally running from right to left before releasing the ball to Willian. And then in the centre circle, Tim Ream plays it to Bassey, who's under pressure from Maddison. The game hasn't really caught light in the second half, but there's a bit more intent about Fulham at the start of the second half than there was at the end of the first, where they really just looked as if they needed to just reformat slightly. Playing out from the back now, Fulham, with the squeeze on from Spurs, where they play round that. Robinson, Willian, and then Robinson again, who plays it out towards Raul Jimenez, but it's a little bit behind him and floats out of play. And Marco Silva comes out of his technical area. I think he's a little bit more encouraged by what he's seen in the first 6 minutes.
I definitely agree with you there. I know they lost possession, they went out for a throw-in, but it was tidy enough play on the left-hand side here, involving Robinson, Willian and Jimenez. They certainly started on the front foot even. Fulham look a little bit brighter. Big Ange standing down there, looking very smart tonight. Hands in his rain mac, standing on the edge of the technical area, sternly watching on as Kulusevski, with a lovely little take and turn, plays it square into Son. Space on the far side for Richarlison. He gets under the ball, and over the bar it goes. And it was another good move for Spurs, another good move that's created a chance. And speaking to the Spurs fans at half-time, Ali, one of their frustrations is that they do craft a lot of chances but don't necessarily take them. Well, we've seen it in the first half, didn't they? The one chance in particular was 3 or 4 and could have got a shot at goal, and they didn't get a shot away at all. At least in that attack they did get a shot away, albeit an average one from Richarlison, but again really bright on the right hand side from Kulusevski, and a lovely ball into Son.
A doggy, it's not a great header, and his clearance from the long ball forward by Leno means that he's snapping at the heels of Raul Jimenez, and a free kick is given against him because he was a little bit too aggressive as he tried to win it back, and he had a little bite at his ankles, caught the back of the Achilles of the Mexican. A free kick is given about 15 yards short of the D in the dead centre of the Spurs half. 1-0 to Spurs. And Fulham showing a little bit of fight to try and get back into this game. It remains 1-0. And again, Spurs going with that high line outside the box. What's the benefit of that, Ali?
Well, it gives the goalkeeper a lot of space to see as well. The only problem is there's a counter to it as well, and some of the times they run, it's a big area to leave, but they're obviously have great confidence in their goalkeeper.
Willian, who's going to try and deal with this set piece. Tottenham's line is literally 10 yards from the ball, right? So they float it over the top, looking for Paulinho. It's headed into the air by Richarlison, and then further clear at the second attempt, and it goes towards the right full-back position, floats out of play and goes out for a throw-in level with the edge of the box.
It's like an obvious thing to say as well, Sam, but you know, when you do keep a high line, generally speaking, you are, no matter what the delivery is, you're going to keep the ball further away from your goal. It's an obvious thing to say, but I can understand it.
The issue is if the attackers time their run to perfection, the ball is drifted over the top, there's more room for them to run into. They've got away with it so far.
Yeah, that's where your goalkeeper obviously has to be very bright and switched on as well.
Leno square to Bassi forward, and then it's picked off by Højbjerg, and Son's in an onside position, and Maddison's joining now and slips it past the goalkeeper, and he has his first goal in front of the Tottenham Hotspur fans of this stadium. James Maddison, after another mistake by the Fulham defence, playing out from the back, the ball came back into Son's possession on the edge of the box via Højbjerg. He tucked it round the corner for Maddison, who was joining on the left side of the box, and it was a simple, calm, composed finish, and as a result Tottenham Hotspur lead by 2-0.
I've got to say, I actually can't believe what I'm seeing. I mean, it's a great finish.
Is he going to be offside here?
No, he's not. Is he? I think no, he's not. The right back's playing him on. Right back's playing him on a mile. In fact, it's Bassey's playing him on. I'm going to tell you something. The goal is a complete replica of the first goal. It's got played into midfield. It's a poor ball into Son, who's standing himself again in the middle of the pitch because the other centre back is in the left hand side and he can't get across again. It's the exact same as the first goal. From Fulham's point of view, it's criminal. From Spurs' point of view, they'll take it. And I need to tell you, it's a beautifully composed finish.
The Son's not offside, even though there is no other defender between him and the goal, because Bassi is off the pitch actually when the ball's played to him.
Was he off the pitch?
So his entrance point is adjudged to be on the touchline on the far side.
Yep.
But because he's so far back, he's playing Son onside.
Yep. Still doesn't let them away with a poor quality. I mean,
why would they?
Listen, they say it's madness, don't they? Make the same mistake more than once. That for me was a complete replica in terms of how to lose a goal. Bassey plays it into the middle of the park. It's intercepted, and because Bassey is on the right hand side of the defence, Tim Ream's away at the other side, on the left hand side. They're actually leaving Son in the middle of the pitch alone. And again we see the goal. It's a lovely finish, lovely timed run, keeps himself onside, beautiful wee side foot.
Emerson Royale's come on for a doggy as we reach the 55-minute mark, and it's 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur, and 2 goals that have been gifted really by Fulham. And that's not something that you want to do when you have a problem scoring goals, is start handing out generous gifts like that. And Calvin Bassey, unfortunately, has been at the heart of both of them.
Yeah. He's played 2 heavy-handed balls into the middle of the park. That said, you know, there's still 35, 40 yards from the goal, and your centre-back's miles away.
Willian in towards the near post, flicked away by Van der Ven, and he got in front of his goalkeeper there and almost caused him a bit of a commotion. He flicked it in the end behind and away for another corner kick to Fulham. And he just took charge, Van der Ven, despite the fact that maybe his goalkeeper called. He almost got a whack in the back of his head with 2 of Vicario's fists, but survived. And it's out for a corner which William will take, arcing towards the penalty spot. Van der Ven taking charge again. Son trying to bring it out of the sky and charge upfield, but Robinson will stop him from doing so. If you're Marco Silva and you've made plans at half-time of how you're going to get back in the game, you've seen your changes actually have a bit of an effect for 10 minutes, and then that happens, you're the architects of your own downfall once again. How frustrating is it?
Oh, Sam, it drives you crazy, but at the same time, they've made the shit.
Here's Castagna into the box of the far post is Jimenez, and great defending by Pat Sarr. Certainly gets back in front of him and heads the ball away.
It certainly was. So we're just going to say how frustrating it is. Yeah, you better believe it's frustrating. However, to make the same mistake, you know, and lose another goal, play it in the middle of the park, and your opposite centre-backs 15, 20 yards away from the centre-forward, it's unforgivable, really.
Willian back to Iwobi trying to send it through the centre. It's away by Romero, picked up by Castagna, but Richarlison trying to win it. Castagna falling over in front of him, didn't allow him to escape with the ball, and it breaks to halfway. It's a disappointing evening for Fulham, who haven't played at their best, there's no doubt about that. They're still struggling to find their rhythm from last season. They are lacking that focal point that Mitrovic provided them with. They're always going to be difficult. Oh dear, Vicario's given the ball away to Willian on the edge of the area, and this may be a way back into the game. Not if Romero's got anything to say about it. He comes sliding across and makes a swashbuckling challenge which sees the ball squirm out on the near side for a throw-in. But Vicario getting a little bit overconfident there with his header on the edge of the box, which almost allowed Fulham back in.
Well, he shouldn't have been there in the first place, Sam. He should have stayed in his line and get it knocked back to him. Once he comes out, he's got to clear it, and then he tried to be clever with the header to the right back position. It was great covering, as you correctly said, from Romero.
Sarr tries to get it forward to Maddison. He doesn't get hold of that. It just takes a little nick off Castagna and runs through to Calvin Bassey. Back to Ream. There's space for Iwobi here, who's just left-sided of the centre circle. Played out to Lukic. Lukic now with some space on the far side, the right to De Cordova-Reid. It's helped to him by Castagna, who returns the ball to the Belgian, but Richarlison, watching it, doing his diligent work, manages to intervene and then conspires to give it back again. Goes back to Lukic and then on to Palhinha, who's crossing to the boxes over the head of Kulusevski. It's wide on the left now with Willian, who sets up Robinson, whose cross is deep, and it's too deep. It just spins off the turf and goes out on the far side, and it's away for a throw-in to Tottenham Hotspur, who are comfortable with their lead as we hit the hour mark, live on TalkSport. And they've defended as well as they've attacked, really, Tottenham Hotspur at times.
Yeah, Sarr in particular, we're just watching a replay of the one where he gets in to prevent the header. It's excellent defending, getting back into a dangerous area and mopping up. But I'm still, as you can probably hear, pretty bamboozled is probably the best word I could use, at the way Fulham have defended both those goals. It's just remarkable, absolutely remarkable.
Papsar's now gone down in the middle of the Tottenham half of the field. I think he needs a little bit of treatment, and there's some good news that is coming out of the Tottenham training camp, that not only is Brennan Johnson back from his injury, but Rodrigo Bentancur is on his way soon as well. He's not available for tonight, won't be maybe for a week or so, but he's certainly going to be involved in the not too distant future. Oliver Skipp is going to be the immediate replacement for Papsar, who I think is going to have to be replaced here, which is a disappointment for him because he's played particularly well. Postecoglou has allowed him to flourish, where, if you remember rightly, when he came into the team under Antonio Conte almost threw his arms up and said, well, this is all I've got. Which didn't inspire
confidence. Not really an ideal confidence booster when you're getting that kind of thrown at you. No, I think you're talking about a different level of man management, aren't you, really? I mean, even, I can guarantee you right now, even if Postecoglou thought that about his player, he wouldn't say it, that's for sure. He might say to the player, you're maybe not in my plans or whatever, but he would not do that.
Skipp is on to replace Papsar, and Harry Wilson, fresh from a good international break with Wales, is going to come on, and he is going to replace De Cordova-Reid. Fulham fans would like his Welsh form to inspire him to produce his best for Fulham. And he's coming on with those frosted tips in his hair. Am I right in assuming that many moons ago that was a hairstyle that you once sported?
That's poor. I mean, you're actually correct in your assessment, however. There's no getting away from it. It's poor bringing that up. Just sitting here delighted you didn't go for the perm.
Yeah, when I was a wee whippersnapper, I had I think it was a Panini sticker book with a wee little Ali McCoy sticker with the blonde frosted tips. Here is Pedro Porra out towards the right hand side. Kulusevski, low ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, steered away by Bassey and then picked up by Willian and taken away by Fulham. It was another good break, a quick smart break from Tottenham Hotspur, and another chance as well which they haven't capitalised on.
Yeah, good defending though from Bassey, it really was. His positional sense was excellent. Kulusevski, good break down the right hand side just to play it across, but his positioning was very good.
Van der Ven, his positioning is always very good.
Sam, I'll tell you.
You like the look of him? 34 million quid rising to 43 from Wolfsburg. Seems a good deal at the moment.
Yeah.
So does the one for Maddison, who skipped past 3 challenges, moved into the inside right position, swung the ball out to the far side, maybe got a little bit excited, and it was too heavy for Richarlison, but he lights up the place, doesn't he? James Maddison, with his body swerves and his tricks.
A lovely little nutmeg as well, which didn't go unnoticed. But he's a little bit heavy in the final pass to Richarlison, but I think we can cut him a bit of slack, that's for sure.
We're talking about Van de Ven and what a catcher he was. He was the fastest Bundesliga defender last year, running at 22.3 miles per hour at his peak.
You can actually see it.
Yeah.
Great recovery speed for a defender. What a bonus that is to have.
It's difficult as well if you're a centre forward, isn't it, when you realise that someone has got the beating of you across the ground.
Yeah. It's not a good feeling, that. I used to feel it quite often.
Weighed down by those frosted tips. 6:04 on the clock. You're listening to TalkSport. Sam Manterface and Ali McCoy. Ali doing double shift today, and he's going to do breakfast tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock. When you wake up, he will be there with Andy Townsend, and those two will bring you the best breakfast show on the dial tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. Make sure you're there when you're on your way to school, work, college, wherever you're going tomorrow morning. If you're travelling, if you're up and about early, just have it on in the kitchen. You can even ask Alexa to play TalkSport if you've got a smart speaker. You can also listen on our app, which is available to download. Just go to your App Store or your Google Play Store and download the TalkSport app. You can flick between the 2 stations, but you can also flick over to Virgin Radio if you want a bit of music and have Chris Evans from 6:30 every single morning. Talk Radio with Nicola Thorpe and Jeremy Carl in the mornings too is available for you. All our stations on that TalkSport app. Download it and there's a bucket load of entertainment for you. 65 on the clock. It's Tottenham Hotspur 2, Fulham 0, live on TalkSport, and it's Christian Romero forward to Son, round the corner for Porro, who's out of position now as the ball comes back with Willian. It's nudged through to Raul Jimenez, who nutmegs Van de Ven, but there was an offside flag up in the first phase, and as a result it's going to be a Tottenham ball.
I think Iwobi just slipped offside there. He's a little bit unlucky, but he's got a problem definitely. Marco Silva, how are they going to get back into this game now? He's going to have to start gambling a little bit, throwing 1 or 2 players forward with 25 minutes or so to go.
Tottenham look like such a settled team, don't they? I noticed that Eric Dyer was linked with Bayern Munich this week. It's difficult to see a route back in with the performances of Romero and Van de Ven, and the fact that they don't have European or Cup football until after the New Year. It means there's less need for rotation, which means there's hardly a look in for anybody else who's not in the established 11. Here is Richarlison over on the far side. Infield he goes to Maddison again. Maddison on to Son, who's trying to get the ball round the corner, doesn't quite manage to do that, tussling with Harry Wilson, and then Bassi almost makes a mistake again. There's a challenge by Richarlison which the referee doesn't punish. It goes out of play on the far side and it's away for a Tottenham throw, quickly taken, and Maddison does well just to wait for it to come across his body. They then smother him, nab it, Lukic takes it clear. It goes up to halfway and Harry Wilson tries to switch from right to left, finding Robinson. Robinson controls it on his right knee and then nudges it out to the touchline with his left. Willian takes over. You can tell by the boos that he's on the ball, and then he plays a 1-2 with Iwobi, gets to the byline, produces a cross away by Van de Ven, and then it comes back into midfield and Palhinha for Fulham, and remains 2-0. The thing about Tottenham is they've offered Fulham very few chances.
Yeah. Just the one from a set play, wasn't it? Corner come across and Vicario made a great save to his left hand side. Apart from that, there's not been an awful lot of trouble for the goalkeeper.
Tottenham usually come good right at the end of their home games. They've left it late in their matches here, in the last 2 anyway, to have secured victory. Done it in stoppage time. They've done it by some distance already tonight, and they should be on the march again here with Richarlison towards the edge of the area. Son leaves it for Kulusevski, just right of the D, moves into the box, looks to feed it out wide to Højbjerg, half cleared by Fulham, and again they've got to the edge of the box, they've maybe had one pass too many, and just don't quite have that finishing power.
No, I agree with you. Having said that, a lot of credit must go to Robinson there in the left back position for Fulham, who stood his ground. Saw the overlap there from Højbjerg, stood his ground and intercepted the pass. But you're right, it's another opportunity going for Tottenham.
Well, you just think that tonight probably would be perfect if Richarlison could have a good second half and come up with a goal. And I think a top performance for him and a couple of strikes are the only thing that's missing in the perfect start to the season for Ange Postecoglou's team is still unbeaten and going back to the top of the table.
Okay, he's lucky there, Højbjerg. It was a free kick, but he took a kind of heavy touch and allowed Willian to nip it.
Son trying to get in behind Bassi. Bassi does enough to strong arm him off the ball and then plays it square, and it's not the best of clearances by Castagna. Maddison putting pressure on Paulinho, who signed a long-term contract after the debacle of his attempted move to Bayern Munich, and he gives away a throw, and then he fouls Maddison. That's going to be a free kick on the right-hand side. He hasn't picked up his customary yellow card yet. João Paulinho,
still 20 to go.
Every chance that he will do between now and the end. Does create another opportunity for Spurs from a set piece.
Yeah, Maddison just flicks one round the corner. Leaves a little bit on him, not a lot.
Fulham's road form not great, not one away from home since the opening day of the season at Everton, and they were a little bit fortunate there. They haven't been great tonight either. Now coming up against, at this moment in time, the best team in the league. Maddison to take the free kick on the right hand side. We've got 4 white shirts just inside the penalty area, and Richarlison just outside it. He's breaking to get into it now, and so is Son. As the ball goes in towards Son, he flicks it and it goes through the 6-yard box, and Romero doesn't capitalise at the far post.
Yeah, it's a good delivery again. Maddison whipped in with a little bit of pace. That curling one away from the goalkeeper, just behind the defenders. Son arrives, gets a flick on it, but nobody came into the back post to take advantage of it.
I love the fact that Maddison, you could lip read him say, "What a ball!"
Yeah, yeah. Nothing like a bit of self-belief, is there? To be fair, it's difficult to argue with him.
You're listening to Tottenham Hotspur 2, Fulham 0, TalkSport. With Now, and don't forget, with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Tottenham versus Fulham live right now for $11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports. And remember, tomorrow night we've got Champions League action for you, and Wednesday as well, and Thursday Europa League action. Friday night we're back with Tottenham again. Adrian was listing the games we've already done of Tottenham Hotspur this season. Their last game against Luton was live on TalkSport. This game is on TalkSport. Their next game against Chelsea is on TalkSport after the Palace game on Friday night, and their game after that against Wolves away from home is live on TalkSport. He was right when he said Talk Tottenham.
It's not often wrong, that fella, I'm telling you.
Huge number of Tottenham games to come, and I'll tell you what, right at this moment in time, they're the games you want to be at.
Oh, without doubt. Without doubt. They're a great watch at the moment, they really are.
Sasa Lukic coming off, and he's been replaced by Harrison Reed in midfield, who had started all 8 Premier League games up until tonight. Last season he was very good, I thought, very effective alongside Paulinho in the heart of midfield. I was a bit surprised that he was left out this evening. It may well be that he hasn't been as good as he was last campaign, but he's certainly got something about him. He tries to nudge the ball down with his first touch towards the right hand side. I think the Barcelona game last night, talking about great first touches, did you see that story?
17
years of age. He's played 8 minutes for the B team before last night, comes off the bench and scores within 23 seconds. Talk about dream debut. Robinson down the left into Willian, back to Robinson once again. Here is Tim Ream. And then Calvin Bassey under pressure from Maddison.
Yeah, they're hungry, aren't they? You can see it. Tottenham hungry with it. Son, Maddison, Richarlison in forward areas.
With the ball again over on the far side, there was an offside play that went up, and it looks like Harry Wilson's got a problem. He's gone down, holding his right knee, or is it his calf that's the problem? As soon as that ball went out over on the far side, he sunk to the floor, and he thought he'd got a problem. Did he just go up? Did someone land on him? No, it's the way he landed that was the problem.
Yeah.
There might have been a little flick of the studs on the knee from Emerson Royale.
I think you're right. It can be very, very painful. I think he's just caught him with the back of his studs there. Seems to be okay though.
He's back on his feet again after rolling around over on the far side for a little while. Like you say, it can be very painful. Get that deep freeze spray out, sort you out for a little while. 64 minutes on the clock, 74 minutes on the clock. You're listening to TalkSport, and we're live tonight at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The golden cockerel away to our right, which looms over the lip of the roof on the top of the south stand, is shining brightly in the night sky, and Tottenham once again taking the spotlight. They are going top of the Premier League, and I just wonder what you think, after having seen as much as you have of them this season, they can achieve this campaign.
I still think the best opportunity of a trophy is one of the cups, I'll be honest with you.
Vicario going out towards the perimeter, his penalty area, to clean the ball and get it high up over the halfway line after the ball was played in behind the Tottenham defence.
Can they make the top four? I'm calling for them, you've got to say yes. As I say, it's still early in the season. I wouldn't be really getting carried away till certainly the turn of the year, February. We can have a proper discussion about it, Sam. At this moment in time, I think Spurs fans should just sit back and enjoy what's happening, and then we can have a conversation again at the turn of the year. But he should have brought over.
Maddison rubs past inside the penalty area, tries to take it on his own, comes back to Richarlison, and then his shot takes a deflection, does it, and goes behind. Well, they've had another aberration at the back, and Calvin Bassey has again been guilty. And Maddison almost propped it with a second goal. The ball was played to Bassey inside the area. His heavy touch allowed Maddison, who has that hunger, that desire to chase everything down, to win possession. And again, they didn't make the most of it.
Sam, Bassey just takes a heavy touch again. You know, Maddison's actually gone for the exact same finish that he scored with earlier on for the second goal. And it's a casual, cool, collected side foot to the goalkeeper's left. It gets blocked that time. But again, you know, Calvin Bassey's wanting too much time on the ball. You do not get time on the ball at this level.
Is this because he's played for Rangers, gone to Ajax, and the Premier League is just that little bit faster?
Well, this is the best league on the planet, make no mistake about it. They're the best players on the planet, I think. I think a lot of people would agree with me. So you've got to be razor sharp mentally and physically. And he's just, on 2 or 3 occasions, been caught out. The passes into midfield can happen, right? But that in particular for me is where you maybe underestimate the pace of the opposition.
William on to Robinson down the left side, tries to get the better of Pedro Porro, but again he stands firm. And I think a lot of people questioned his defending when he first joined the club, but he seems to have sharpened up in that regard, as well as his forward players. The ball goes into the box and Van de Ven leaves it for his goalkeeper and does so well.
That's great communication, that really is, because the centre-half went for it, Van de Ven looked for it, and I think he's going to head it, and he must get a shout from Vicario there. Drops the head into the shoulders and lets the ball run through. All about communication there.
Clip forward by Van de Ven into Maddison. Maddison just short of halfway, 77 on the clock. It's 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. And Tottenham's next fixture is against Crystal Palace on Friday night, live on TalkSport. We will be there for that. It's a huge week of football, and we're looking forward to it. This is Romero on the edge of the box, playing it out wide towards Porro, the right fullback, who cannons it against the shins of Willian. He's 35 years of age now. He's returned for the last 6 games after a fitness problem at the beginning of the season. And it's in games like this, when you're 36 and you're up against a team as sprightly and as intense as Tottenham, that you do start to feel a little bit older than your years.
Yeah. Having said that, you know, he's looked all right. He's looked one of the better Fulham players for me on the left-hand side, Willian. They haven't had a lot to to shout about, but he's been okay.
Son, on halfway is Pedro Porro. It's Tottenham 2, Fulham 0, live on TalkSport. For the latest odds, you can head to Ladbrokes, where right now you can get odds on the next team to score, the third goal this evening. Tottenham 7-5, Fulham 3-1, no third goal at 13-10. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes, 18 plus be gamble aware. Tottenham on the attack, an attack started by a brilliant challenge from Oliver Skipp. Tottenham are running the ball out of play on the far side because Richarlison has gone down. That slows their momentum going forward. Richarlison's claiming he's got a head injury, and he's slowly getting back to his feet. So any momentum that they did have is petering out, but Richarlison is now back to his feet. Did they need to stop it? I'm not sure they did really.
No, but listen, you can't take a chance through head injury. I think you're right. I think he went down. I think the referee, Anthony Taylor, thought there was a head knock. Not a lot going on between the two of them. Him and Wilson shake hands. So in answer to your question, yes, but you're better safe than sorry.
Indeed. Ange Postecoglou is about to make a couple of changes, 3 changes in fact, down in front of us. We're going to see Valise, Lo Celso and Brennan Johnson in the next few moments for Tottenham Hotspur. He doesn't like sitting around on his international breaks or sitting on his hands. The first few days are okay, you know what it's like, he said this week. You're enjoying the rest, a bit like the rest of us, you know. The first 2 days of the international break, everyone's having fun, aren't they? And then all of a sudden you start thinking, when's the next game? Ball played out towards his right hand side. Robinson picks it up, and a swish of the rain Mac once again from Ange Postecoglou shows his frustration as Tottenham have given away possession. He's about to bring on 3 new players to just liven up Tottenham in the last 10 minutes of this game, maybe send this crowd home even happier. But they look like a team that are full of belief at this moment in time. They may be lacking a ruthlessness that certainly might still be there. Could they have one Harry Kane in their ranks? But they're going to switch out James Maddison, Richarlison and Son for Valise, Johnson and Lo Celso for the final 10 minutes. And I suppose that's the benefit of being 2-0 up, isn't it?
Without doubt, absolutely. And I've got to say, I'm a little bit disappointed in Fulham because you're expecting a reaction from them, Sam. And it's just the game's kind of petering out in front of our very eyes. They've got 10 minutes left to have a go at it, but Ange Postecoglou has obviously decided he wants to freshen things up, and fair play to him for doing that.
Well, I just wonder as Graham Scott puts up the ball, Danny Columbus, whether or not it will be an opportunity now for Fulham to it might just encourage them, thinking that you've taken off some of these players, let's see if you can withstand a late storm with 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Aleko Valise is coming on to replace Maddison. Son is off, and so is Richarlison as we go into the last few moments of the game. And Maddison, I think, deserves a special mention, bearing in mind that he scored his first goal and Son his 50th goal at the stadium.
Yep, both excellent finishes, both poor defensively. A lovely side foot finish from Maddison, and equally the opening goal from Son was beautiful execution. You know, I made the comments about really poor defending from Fulham, and I stand by it. But that's taking nothing away from the quality of finishes.
And the two of them doing their arrow celebration, their bullseye celebration, was a picture you'll probably see on the back page to some of your papers tomorrow morning. And remember, you'll be able to have your say straight after the conclusion of this game with Jamie and Jason. 03717 223344. The sports bar open for business. I'm sure Tottenham fans will be straight on the blower, giving the boys a call. It's the best place to have your say on national radio. It's Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cunley coming up straight after we finish, and I'll be trying to bring you some reaction from Ange Postecoglou and from Marco Silva. Changes for Fulham as well. Off has gone João Palhinha, and on has come Tom Kearney for the last 10 minutes of the game. Here is Tim Ream, deep inside his own half. Back to Calvin Bassey, out towards the far side. 7 minutes to go. Here is Iwobi. Iwobi out to Castagna, in towards Wilson. Kenny's going to get there first, and then Wilson's attempt to volley and send the ball out to the wide left is met by Kulusevski. It's Tottenham who have the ball. It's a little bit disjointed, Tottenham. Bassey steps in to get there ahead of Valise. Now they have possession. Fulham on this near side, the left. It's Robinson moving forward, trying to cut the ball infield, plays it out wide to the left. Robinson's cross is a good one, and across comes the defender Emerson Royale, and initially does well to intervene, and then almost fumbles it in the right fullback position after coming in from the left. And then Kulusevski with a little nutmeg on Willian, keeping the ball beautifully, and then he himself gives it away. It breaks to Jimenez inside the area. It's a brilliant save by Vicario. And Raul Jimenez, who's waited 18 months from a top-flight goal, has missed another huge chance. It's a great opportunity for Fulham to get on the score sheet, and Vicario has made another great save.
Yeah, you know something, Sam, I'm looking at that, and the attempted finish looked like a finish from somebody who actually didn't believe they were going to score, actually hoped they were going to score.
Kenny, Willian, now they have up the tempo, and it comes through to Iwobi, edge of the area, right-footed shot blocked by Lo Celso. Spoons into the air, collected far side by Brennan Johnson, who's tripped by Castagna. It's going to be a free kick in the left full-back position.
Lo Celso did really well there, getting back to the chance for Jimenez, Sam. When he takes the touch, I think he's got to drive it with his instep. He goes for the safer option of a kind of side foot finish back across the goalkeeper, Vicario. Lovely pass, I've got to say, from Wilson, really was, and he just tries to side foot it across the goalkeeper. As you see it, I just think he's got to put his foot through it and drive it down at the goalkeeper's feet or to his right hand side. It was a kind of safe attempted finish, is how I would describe it.
It's almost like, I've just got to get this on target.
Yes, exactly.
It was interesting, Vicario's going to go to the book here for time wasting, but it was interesting as well watching that play. You know, all eyes were on Kulusevski because he just nutmegged Willian and then moved the ball forward, then lost the play. But the reason there was space out on that far side, the left, was because Emerson Royale previously made a tackle and hadn't got back into position. Tottenham have possession inside the centre circle. Played out to the right, and Kulusevski. Robinson drags him to the ground. It's up for a throw-in. Now, earlier on I asked you what you thought that Tottenham Hotspur could achieve, and you said you weren't going to have a conversation with me till after Christmas.
Yep.
What if I told you that the last 23 teams to have started the season this well had finished in the top four? Would you then say that Tottenham had to finish in the top four, because that's what form would suggest they are?
Oh, form suggests they're the best team in the country at the moment. I mean, top four. Okay. You've got to say, and the fact that I believe we're going to have a proper league this year, and by that I mean I think Villa will take points off the top teams. I think Newcastle can take points off the top teams. Brighton will certainly take points off the top teams. I wouldn't say it's wide open, but I think this season more than any, there is capable. The top teams, include Manchester City, Liverpool and Arsenal, are more than capable of dropping points that you would normally think they would pick up.
Kenny wins a free kick on halfway, but he rushed taking it, so that Anthony Taylor wants it pulled back and they'll reset it. So top four, yeah? We're going top four?
Yeah, I think they could sneak into fourth, I do. Yeah, there you are.
What if I told you...
By the way, you've got me going 4 months early right now, because I said I wasn't going to after Christmas. So there's nothing like going early, is there?
You know me. That's my trademark. Here's Kenny down the left-hand side, combining with Raul Jimenez. Gets a shot away, but again it's tame and it's into the arms of Vicario. What if I told you that the last 4 times that Spurs have started this well, they'd won the division?
I would guess the last time it was clearly 1960-61.
Yeah, but also when they've been in the division below and started this well, they've gone on to win that as well. So 2 first divisions and 2 second divisions.
Well, I'm sticking my neck out and telling you right now, it won't happen for the first time. There you go. Wow. I'm getting that look for that man on the left-hand side.
That's early. You've gone early now.
I've decided to go early on that one.
I've drawn you into it.
There's my pre-Christmas one on that one.
Here's Raul Jimenez chesting the ball down. Across comes Romero, smashing it forward. Kulusevski down the right. And then You know, like some managers, when the ball comes to their feet, they flick it up, juggle with it, and give it back to.
He's not one of those. Tell you right now, he's not one of those. Big Ange.
Ange bent down like me.
I think he's very much a side foot merchant, Ange. He's not getting involved in that any keepy up stuff.
He looked as if he bent down in instalments there. Here is Harrison Reed back with Fulham inside the penalty area. It's cleared away and up over the halfway line. 2-0. Tottenham Hotspur lead, and they're going back to the top of the Premier League. They're continuing to cast off their Spursy tag. And James Maddison saying it to one of our reporters the other week, actually. We're not Spursy anymore. And it's going to be a win that takes them top. Ange Postecoglou has always maintained that it would take 2 to 3 trading windows for him to get the squad that he wants.
Yeah. I think that's fair, don't you? It's whether we're giving it nowadays, of course. That's the question.
They've just appointed a new director of football in Johan Langer from Aston Villa, and Scott Munn, the new chief football officer. There's been a bit of restructuring behind the scenes. And certainly Ange has restructured them on the pitch as well. For Fulham, who are going to lose again on the road, they find themselves in a situation where they've won the ball high up on the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Wilson's taken it on now. Spurs have quickly got back into shape, but here's Harrison Reed right side, swings across into the centre, away by Van de Ven, and then picked up by Lo Celso, and then away brilliantly by Tottenham, who now counter-attack with Lo Celso. He's got space out wide on his left to Brennan Johnson. Felice wants it played through the centre, but he's running an offside position, and when he picks the ball up, he hesitated to put the flag up, but eventually it does go up. It was so obviously offside.
And the reason for him not sticking the flag up there would be?
Not a clue. Have not got a clue. 7 minutes, did you say, of added time at the end of the 90? Really? 7? I'm a bit surprised by that. Andy and Ali back on breakfast tomorrow. Jim and Simon follow them. How good was Martin O'Neill this morning? Live tomorrow night, Champions League action involving Arsenal. We have the European action Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night this week. Premier League back Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we're round the grounds on the Sunday session. It's all action stuff on the home of football. The biggest sports radio station in the world, TalkSport. 91 minutes on the clock, 7 are confirmed as the added minutes. Vicario, deep inside his own half. Spurs content to keep hold of the ball and play out time now. Fulham, what is their ambition this season? It's very difficult to sort of overachieve on what they did last year.
No, I think last year's kind of what they are. I think that's their best, to be honest with you. I really do. They've been well beaten tonight, they really have. A little bit disappointed. There are a couple of chances in the first half, particularly ahead of what we spoke about, but they've not really started the first 5-10 minutes of the second half okay, Sam, but listen, if you're going to defend the way they defend, and take the ball off the goalkeeper, the two centre-halves split, and then leave and lose it and leave the centre forward in the middle of the goal himself, I would suggest they might continue to have problems. But having said all that, I still think they'll be okay, because they're definitely better than, I think, 3 or 4 teams in the league.
And that's the first achievement on the to-do list for Fulham at the beginning of any season, isn't it? Stay in the league. Here's Kulusevski down the right-hand side, does well to get beyond Ream. Ream tussles with him, the ball spills into the path of Anthony Robinson. Tottenham Hotspur and their manager about to make history. It's going to be the best managerial start ever in the Premier League. Played 9, won 7, drawn 2, and 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League. It's a better start than Mike Walker and Goose Hiddink. Here's the ball to the far side though for Fulham, and Wilson pulls the trigger and blocked by Emerson Royale. The ball spills to Brennan Johnson, and now Tottenham turn defence into attack at rapid speed, and Johnson's going forward through the centre. Emerson Royale cuts infield, dispossessed by Harrison Reed, and now Iwobi can take the ball to the halfway line. They just lack a confidence in front of goal, Fulham.
Yeah, can see it. It's evident.
Something you can fix particularly easily as well.
Well, I know it's an easiest thing to say, it's an obvious thing to say, but it's factually correct. You miss the big fella that's away to Saudi Arabia, don't you? Mitrovic's goals.
And selling him from under their feet just before the start of the season doesn't help, does it?
No, and you can say what you like, it's not a good message to send out either, the way it was done, correct?
Ream on halfway for Fulham, who know they're beaten here. Robinson challenges with Pedro Porro, who gets a little kick on the ankle for his trouble. There's Anna play on this near side. William takes it infield, meanders forward, and there's a clip over the top towards the right, and running forward to try and meet it is Castagna. It's too heavy for him and goes out for a goal kick.
It's a little bit unlucky that Brennan Johnson just got caught ball watching a little bit, and allowed the run there from Castagna. Couldn't pick him out though, Willian.
What do you make of the Brennan Johnson move to Tottenham Hotspur? Is that a move where you think he'll be able to flourish?
Yeah, I really do. I think there's improvement in him. I think there's potential in him, and I actually think he's now at a club that will suit. I don't mean, Forrest went to a club that will suit him. He did exceptionally well there, but I think he's at a club that will suit him.
Reid for Fulham, up to Castagna. Castagna sees it back to his goalkeeper Bernd Leno, who actually hasn't been able to display it too much tonight, but has been a very good acquisition for Fulham since he went there. He's a good goalkeeper. Into Robinson. Kearney, the Tottenham fans are singing their songs. They are top spot Tottenham. They look like Super Spurs, and under Postecoglou they look like football connoisseurs. But they've left a big gap for Harry Wilson to run into, and he's been fed by Iwobi. Through the centre of the pitch he goes. Emerson Royal trying to get back at him, and he sits there in time to stop and block the shot from Wilson and repel the attempted effort from the Welshman, who again probably took too many touches.
Oh, you better believe he did, Sam. He's got to hit it early. It's a well-worked move. He's got to pull the trigger early. He takes a good touch. The defender's not catching him. He's not getting back to him. We spoke about the pace that he has, Mickey van de Ven, but that was a real opportunity. That's a disappointment for Fulham.
Well, the one thing I will say about Tottenham is they've given away a couple of chances towards the end of the game when it seems done and dusted, that other teams will punish.
You better believe, yeah. I mean, they deserve the victory, as I said, but you're spot on to mention that, against a better opposition, a more lethal opposition in terms of forward play, they will get punished of that, there's no doubt.
And they'll have to take those chances that come their way when they get them. 90 seconds remaining, live on TalkSport, and Tottenham Hotspur, who I think they've been inspired by Ange Postecoglou. There's a lot more sort of fighting for the cause than we saw last season under the very cold Antonio Conte.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it. There's a greater belief, Sam. There's just do you know what there is? There's just a better feeling about the whole place, to tell you the truth.
Lo Celso back to goal, tries to turn. He played for Argentina in the break. He hasn't played too many minutes for Tottenham this season. He played 18 minutes at the second game that Argentina played in the international break. Emerson Royal floats it back to Christian Romero, and then he nudges it left, where it's collected by Van de Ven. He's under pressure from Raul Jimenez, and then Vicario will play it out towards this near side. It remains 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur, who are going top of the Premier League, and they're coming forward again with Romero playing it into Emerson Royal. His pass forward was not the best. It was behind Valise. He looks a little bit raw still, doesn't he? Aleko Valise, who made his Spurs debut against Liverpool, came off the bench against Luton. He's a under-20 striker from Rosario Central. Certainly part of the backup team to Son and the rest. Well, no wonder the Tottenham fans like this fella. Ange Postecoglou has made the best start to a Premier League career by any manager ever. It preserves Tottenham's unbeaten record and means they end the week top of the Premier League again. It's remarkable to think that Spurs lost their best player in the summer. You'd never have noticed. Fulham lost theirs too, and it's abundantly clear It's a fourth defeat of the season for them, but it's victory inspired by Son and Maddison and a couple of sloppy bits of defending from Calvin Bassey, which has generated 3 points for Tottenham, who have beaten Fulham by 2-0.